Dirtle Magic! Hello and welcome back. You can follow our post on Twitter and Facebook at DirtleMTG to stay up to date on our latest videos and other posts, and you can join a more robust discussion about Casual Commander at our blog, thedicebag.blog. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this content to help the channel and the blog grow. Another way you can support the channel, though, is through our affiliate links in the description below. If you're looking for single sealed product or gaming accessories to protect all of that glory, please consider clicking the links in the description. Now, grab some spells, it's time to dirtle. Greetings. Soaring high as an ill omen is Tariel, the Reckoner of Souls. Standing firm in the face of her thunderous laughter is Grumgully, Sir Konrad, and Imoti, the Celebrant of Bounty, companioned with Keruga. I win the die roll and draw a dark deal. I play an Exotic Orchard and pass. Grumgully drops a mountain and they cast Tormentor's Helm. Konrad only has a swamp into play, but also suspends a Mox Tantalite. Imoti puts a breeding pool into play, tapped, and passes their turn. To me, and I draw a Kaalia's Ghost form. I play a command tower and cast Thematic Compass. Grumgully drops another mountain, and then cast Vaishino Lashclaw. To Konrad, and the Mox Tantalite has a time counter removed. A swamp comes into play, and Sign in Blood is cast for 2 cards, and they lose 2 life, going down to 38. Imoti grows a full art forest on their turn, and they tap down their lands and pass. Court of Ambition makes itself known to me, and I play a mountain. I activate the Thematic Compass, grabbing a swamp from my deck. Goldvein Pickaxe comes into play for the Grumgully player, and they equip it to the Lashclaw. Moving to attacks, they hit the Imoti player, dealing 3 damage, and gaining a treasure. In the second main, they use the token to equip Tormentor's Helm to the Lashclaw. Over to the Grim one, and another time counter comes off the Mox. A swamp comes into play, and they pass. Imoti drops an island, and casts Tireless Tracker. I draw a Luxury Suite, and put it onto the table. I feel I have nothing to do right now, and pass the turn. Grumgully plays another mountain, and finds a Scavenged Blade. When it enters the battlefield, it auto-equips to the Lashclaw. In combat, the creature is sent my way, and I respond by activating the compass and grabbing a Plains from my deck to my hand. Otherwise, I take 6, dropping to 34. In the second main phase, Grumgully hits the field. Konrad's turn sees the Mox Tantalite hit the field from exile during their upkeep. Bloodgift Demon is then cast, and they pass the turn. Imoti's turn has a Windswept Heath come into play, triggering the tracker for a clue token. The land is cracked, and a forest is retrieved, triggering the tracker again. Psychic Possession is then cast, and when it comes into play, it enchants the Konrad player. Back to me, and I draw a Faithless Looting. I drop a swamp, and cast Angrath, the Flame Chained. I activate his -3 ability and steal the Vaishino Lashclaw. Moving to combat, I attack the Grumgully player with it, and they take 6 while also receiving a treasure. At the end of the turn, the Lashclaw is sacrificed because its mana value was 3 or less. To Grumgully, and they play another mountain. They also equip Scavenged Blade, Goldvein Pickaxe, and Tormentor's Helm to Grumgully. To the attacks, and Grumgully swings with their commander into the Konrad player. Konrad intercepts with the Bloodgift Demon, triggering the Tormentor's Helm to deal 1 damage to the Konrad player. Both creatures die in combat, and the turn rolls over. Konrad draws their card for the turn, which triggers Psychic Possession for the first time, drawing the Imoti player a card as well. Their commander, Sir Konrad the Grim, hits the battlefield, and they pass. Just a note, when making the thumbnail for this video, has anyone looked at his face up close? He's got some crazy eyes. To Imoti, and they drop a Yavimaya Coast, gaining a clue. They cast their commander, the Celebrant of Bounty, and it cascades. The revealed card is Fact or Fiction, and the chosen player for it is the Grumgully player. They arrange the stacks into the Command Tower and Mind's Desire, with the other stack being Migration's Path, Kodoma's Reach, and Gilded Lotus. The Imoti player takes the stack with the Tower and the Desire, and moves to attacks. On the swing, the tracker is launched into Angrath, and he hits the bin, having done his job well. The turn rolls to me, and I gain access to a Fabled Passage. I drop it and immediately travel through it for a Plains. I then cast Faithless Looting, drawing Savai Triumph and Talisman of Hierarchy, and discard 2 Plains. I cast the Talisman, and pass the turn with mana up for a cycle on the Triumph, or land searching from the compass. Grumgully's turn has them cast Dryad's Revival, returning the Lashclaw to their hand. They recast the creature, and equip it with the Pickaxe. Sir Konrad gains a card, but so does the Imoti player when they draw their card for turn. Dockside Chef is cast, and it's followed by Xiaodun, the One-Eyed. With no attacks, they pass the turn, and I apologize for any mispronunciations. Imoti drops a command tower and gains a clue token. Kaalia, the Titan 8, hits the stack, and it cascades thanks to their commander. The revealed card is Glasspool Mimic, and it's cast. It comes into play as a copy of Tireless Tracker, and Kaalia follows it down. When the Titan Ape enters, it fights their Konrad, and the Knight hits the yard. On the attack, the original tracker swings into the Konrad player, and they don't block, and take 3. At the end of the turn, I cycle away the Triumph and receive a mountain. My turn proper draws me a Puppeteer Click, and I drop a swamp. I tap a bunch of mana and summon the Reckoner of Souls herself, Tariel. I then enchant it with Kaya's Ghost Form and pass the turn. The mana compass flips at the end into the Spires of Orazka. Grumgully plays their first permanent green source of mana this game with Gingerbread Cabin. Scavenged Blade gets equipped to the Lashclaw, as does the Tormentor's Helm. They don't attack anywhere, and they pass. At the end of turn, the Konrad player activates Dockside Chef to draw a card, sacrificing Shao to pay its cost. Imoti also gets a card, thanks to the Psychic Possession. To Konrad's turn proper, and the enchantment triggers again for Imoti. Konrad plays a swamp, and then sacrifices their remaining creature for another card. Living Death then hits the stack, wiping the board of living creatures and returning the dead ones. Luckily for me, Tariel comes back thanks to Kaya's Ghost Form. Konrad returns Bloodgift Demon, the Chef, Konrad himself, and Zhao to the battlefield. Over to Imoti, and they recast their commander. It cascades into Farhaven Elf, which hits the field and gets an Ion for them into play tapped. Imoti then resolves, and they pass. My turn brings up a Terramorphic Expanse. I drop a mountain, and cast the Puppeteer Click. When it enters, I gain control of Kaalia the Titan Ape from Emoti's graveyard. When that enters, I fight the Bloodgift Demon, knocking it back into the graveyard and triggering Konrad. In combat, I swing Kaalia at the Imoti player, using its trigger to destroy the Psychic Possession. They intercept with a Farhaven Elf, and both end up dying thanks to the damage he had from fighting, and Konrad hits their opponents for 2 more damage apiece. In my second main phase, I cast Court of Ambition, aware that there's horsemanship on the battlefield, but I do have spires. I become the Monarch, and draw a Talisman of Indulgence at the end of turn. Grumgully's turn has them cast Guardian Gladewalker. When it enters, it gives a 1/1 counter to itself. Scavenged Blade and the Pickaxe get equipped to it, and the player passes. Strip Mine hits the field for Konrad, and it's immediately cracked to break my spires. That is a bit of a sadness. Now completely defenseless against horsemanship, Konrad moves to attacks and swings Zhao into me. In response, I activate Tariel and steal a creature at random from their graveyard. Since there's only one though, I get to bring back the Bloodgift Demon. I take 3, going down to 27, and lose the Monarchy. In the second main, the Konrad player casts Dread. At the end of the turn, the Konrad player draws because of the hat trigger. Emoti's turn sees a Consecrated Sphinx hit the stack. It cascades into a Search for Tomorrow, and an island lands on the battlefield. They pass. I wonder how much value one needs. To my turn, and Court of Ambition triggers, only making my opponents discard 1 card or lose 3 life because I'm no longer the Monarch. Bloodgift Demon also triggers, and I give a card to the Grumgully player, partly as a goodwill gesture, and partly because I want options. The Sphinx triggers for card draw, and I draw Rakdos Charm. The Sphinx draws Imoti 2 more cards for a total of 4 this turn so far. I move straight to combat, and swing the Puppeteer Click into the Konrad player, hoping it dies. It connects for 3, and Dread triggers to kill it, which triggers Konrad himself, and I reclaim the hat. The Click re-enters the field thanks to Persist, and I bring back the Titan Ape Kaalia from death. When it enters, I fight the Sphinx, and it dies. In the second main, I cast Dark Deal, and all hands are discarded, with each drawing cards equal to the ones discarded -1. Imoti responds with Omen of the Hunt, and they grab a Forest from the deck to play tapped. Once the deal resolves, I draw Doom Foretold and Chainer Nightmare Adept, and the Konrad creature triggers 6 times. I cast Doom Foretold and activate Tariel to randomly bring a newly discarded Machias the Unhallowed to my field from the dead. Because Machias left Konrad's graveyard, Konrad triggers to deal 1 damage to each opponent, but unfortunately for him, Machias, seeing a human dealing damage, destroys their commander. The turn ends with me at 19, Grumgully at 18, Konrad at 28, and Imoti at 24. I also draw Bajuka Bog with the hat trigger. Over to Grumgully, and Doom Foretold triggers. They sacrifice their Guardian Gladewalker to its effect on the upkeep. In their main phase, they cast a Goblin Sky Raider, and I'm beginning to think there's a true power discrepancy here. It gets equipped with the Pickaxe and the Scavenged Blade, and they pass. Konrad's turn begins with them sacrificing Zhao to Doom Foretold. They pass the rest of the turn. Imoti sacrifices the Omen to Doom on their upkeep. Exotic Orchard hits the field in the first main, and they cast Nissa, who shakes the world. Woodland Bellower then hits the sack, and cascades into Oko, Thief of Crowns. Crap. When the Bellower enters, they tutor up a Reclamation Sage, and it dissolves my Court of Ambition away. Nissa is activated to animate a land with 3 1/1 counters, and Oko is activated to elk Tariel. They pass with no attacks. My turn has me sacrifice Puppeteer Click to Doom Foretold, which comes back thanks to the Undying from Marqueus. When it enters, I return Diluvian Primordial from Immoti's graveyard to the field. When that enters, I exile Lightning Bolt and Expropriate. Well, that's a big spell, isn't it? I cast Lightning Bolt first, targeting Imoti, Celebrant of Bounty, and then cast the Expropriate. However, in response to me targeting the cards, Imoti quits the game. I'll keep my words to myself here. Lightning Bolt fizzles, and I draw an extra card with the Bloodgift Demon on my upkeep, losing 1 life. The card I draw is Graven Cairns, and a Swamp for the turn. Good discard fodder, so I choose to cast Chainer. Moving to combat, I swing the Bloodgift Demon and the elk Tariel at the Konrad player. They connect, dealing 10, and Dread triggers to destroy them both. Bloodgift would come back under this Konrad player's control because of Undying, but they decide to quit as well. In my second main, I drop a Bojuka Bog and select the remaining opponent, but it doesn't feel good with the clear power gap. I pass, and gain a Necromancy from the hat trigger. Grumgully sacrifices their creature to Doom Foretold. In the main phase, they cast Gore Clan Bloodscale. It's equipped with the Scavenged Blade, and they pass. To my turn, and I sacrifice my Talisman to the Doom. I draw a Fetid Heath, and activate Chainer by discarding my Swamp. I cast my commander from the grave, and because it wasn't cast from my hand, it gains haste thanks to Chainer. I move to attacks, and swing Tariel and the Click at Grumgully, dealing 8 in the air and dropping them down to 9. With that, I draw a Swamp with the hat. Doom is foretold again, and Grumgully's creature is sacrificed. Vishino Sandstalker hits the field, and gets equipped with the blade and the pickaxe. They move to combat, and I activate Tariel to bring their Gore Clan Bloodscale back from the dead. They attack, and I block with the stolen creature. I take no damage, and at the end of turn, the Sandstalker returns to Grumgully's hand. Doom triggers for me, and I sacrifice my Click. They come back again, thanks to Persist this time, and I grab the Bloodscale from the enemy graveyard. Both gain haste thanks to Chainer, and I draw Brian's Stoutarm. I move to attacks, and swing with Tariel, Chainer, and the Click to finish up the game. Good game to my opponents. Well, mostly if I'm honest. I have to admit I'm still kinda salty about the game because of some events, but thankful for others. The Grumgully player clearly had a less powerful deck with them, saying that in chat it was supposed to be a take on Vishino Tribal, and they really didn't have to stay until the end of the game, but they did. I want to thank them for doing so. Quitters are frustrating, but without knowing the reason they leave the game, I have to keep that in mind and try to let it go. It's just that some days are harder than others. Thank you for tuning in to another Casual Commander game here on Dirtle Magic. Until next time, stay safe out there.